Are you guilty of this too? Hoarding collage papers and then never actually using them. Why do we do this to ourselves? Maybe we just think they're too pretty to cut up, or maybe it's because we don't know where to start. We see that blank page in the sketchbook and it panics us. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you a simple way to start using your papers in a sketchbook spread like this. We're going to give ourselves a few limitations at the start, and then this will set us up with a space to play and feel free. And I really hope you'll put your own spin on this one. The papers that I'm going to be using are from my previous videos, so I'll put the links to those in the description if you missed them. In the first one, we created a cohesive set of collage papers like this using a limited palette of just black and white, plus then one of each primary. And then in the other video, I showed you how I added paint pen mark making to add another layer of interest into those papers. When I'm working in a sketchbook, I like to experiment with collage, pens, paint, anything goes really. And sometimes I find it easy to get into working on a page, and other times it's a bit more of a struggle. And so what I like to do in those situations when I am struggling to get started is to set myself a couple of rules before I start a page. And then that way it kind of limits the possibilities open to me and helps me just get started. Otherwise, I sometimes find that I overthink getting started because there's just too many options. So in this spread, I'm setting myself the challenge of just exploring one shape, and I'm going to be focusing on circles. Here's a page that I did with this same focus on circles. Of course, other shapes have kind of appeared and been covered over, and that's absolutely fine. But that's how it started, with the circles as a starting point, and that limitation just gives you a springboard to jump off from. I'm starting off by just gathering my plain and patterned papers, and then I'm going to tear some of those in half so I've got a more manageable size to work with. And then I'm going to spend about 5 minutes cutting some circle shapes in different sizes and really exploring that motif. I often set a timer for this bit so that I work quite fast and I avoid getting precious about the shapes that I'm creating. I just cut directly onto the paper, but I don't draw it out first. But if you feel more comfortable doing that, then you could definitely draw them first. Don't forget to keep the positive and the negative shapes as well, the bit you cut out and the shape that remains, because they can make some really interesting bits to play around with as well. I start off by just using the plain papers to create a sort of patchwork effect in the background. So I'm cutting these out in rectangular shapes, and I'm aiming for a range of values, so some light and some dark areas, and hopefully that'll guide your eye across the page, and I'm trying to vary the size of the shapes as well. I start off with the plains, and then I start to layer up the patterned papers as well. And as I'm building the layers, I'm thinking about repeating some of the patterns in different areas of the page, and then that should create kind of a rhythm which also directs your eye across the page as well. So far I've used just cool colours for the background, and now I'm going to start bringing in some of the warmer colours as well. So still just using rectangular shapes, but this will just give some areas of contrast, some colour contrast too. And again, I start off with the plain pieces and then I go in with the pattern pieces on top. And now I'm going to start bringing in some of those circle shapes. So I'm aiming for a range of sizes of shapes to give some variety and also to explore the positive and the negative shapes. I think of this part as it's like a puzzle really. You're just figuring out which pieces look best. And while trying not to think too much about it, I'm kind of following my intuition with that. It does help to understand a bit about composition, but really the more you play like this, the more you start to notice just what feels right. I hope this has given you a spark of inspiration then to cut up some of your collage papers. I know it can be hard to part with them sometimes, but if you can bring yourself to get your scissors out and your glue stick and just have a play within that limitation of focusing on just one shape as a starting point, then you won't regret it. Thanks for watching this far. It really makes a difference to my channel if you can like and subscribe it, or even better, leave me a comment and also feel free to ask any questions. I'll see you again soon.